Hey guys, welcome to another edition of car stickers. That is a sore subject. It is a sticky subject. Not all stickers are created equal. So what I have in front of me, or right below me, is a car, and it's got stickers. And by stickers, these particular brand of stickers happen to do with transponders. Here in Southern California, we have what's called toll roads. And so you put a transponder in your front windshield so that it sends a signal so that it registers in your account and automatically charges your account so that you can use the toll roads without having to pay or stop. But as like everything else in life, things get updated and they come out with new transponders that are now smaller and lighter and a better version, which means the old transponder adhesive strips no longer work, or you perhaps just want to remove them. So once again, not all car stickers are created equal. Here we have the two Velcro strips that the transponder would stick to on the inside of the windshield. How do we get these off? Now the simple approach is you grab it with your fingernail, you peel it off. Well, almost instantaneously most people are going to realize that there might be in fact some adhesive left over. How do you get rid of that adhesive? So what I'm going to address is a few complexities of what would appear a very simple problem. A simple solution would be just to grab it with your finger, rip it off, and you're done. But you see how these are exposed to the sunlight, even though I'm in the shade. So what happens is these bake over time. They can become brittle, and then becomes a different problem as to how to remove them. I have not tested these yet. I just know that we want to remove them. How do we get them off? How do we get off the residue of adhesive? So let's work our way through it. And we have a guest with us. Haley, say hi.
Hi.
Haley is my daughter. This is her car, and these are the strips that she wants to remove. So on the way home from work, she said, "Hey Dad, can we remove those strips?" Of course we can, but what appears as a very simple problem, when in fact could be a little more complex than the casual observation would suggest. So Haley, what would be your initial strategy in removing those adhesive strips?
Probably just peel it with my nail.
Okay, so go for it and see what happens. And it looks like the strip is still pliable, meaning it's not brittle, it's not breaking apart, it hasn't degraded from the sun so much, because I've seen them degrade so much from the sun. Okay, so there, that's off. Bingo. Except, what do you see behind?
Like a layer of
goo. Okay, that's actually some residual adhesive. I've seen these where they become so brittle that you touch them and they disintegrate into dust or ashes. This is not the case. So there, that was this simple fix for removing them. Many of you would stop right there because you're on the bare minimum plan. We are not going to stop there. Now we have to remove the adhesive, because for example, when you go to clean the window and you drag a cloth, whether you're the one cleaning the window or not, let's say you go to the car wash, the poor guy at the car wash, he's going to drag his cloth across those adhesive strips. It's going to collect lint, and now you're going to have an unsightly collection of lint particles on your windshield. Probably unacceptable to most people. So how can we get rid of that adhesive residue? Here I have my arsenal of potential products. This is a solution that's called IPA in the industry, which stands for isopropyl alcohol, I believe. It is half rubbing alcohol, which is this, half distilled water. It's a very common solution in the world of detailing because it removes greases, waxes, polishes. It's how you clean the surface to reveal what is going on. So it's a good solvent cleaner. Rubbing alcohol. And I'm offering a few suggestions because I don't know what you're going to have around the house. Now, rubbing alcohol comes in different strengths, let's call it. For example, this is 70%. I don't even know what that means. It's really irrelevant because I know it's rubbing alcohol. I get this at Costco. Here I have my window cleaner. This particular version, I believe, is McGuire's, and it's a concentrate. It comes in a gallon size. I dilute it down as per instructions. This is one of my go-to, which is acetone. Now, many of you freak out when you try to introduce acetone when it comes to cars. I use it in a lot of places. Let me restate that. If you understand it for what it is, which is truly a solvent, you'll notice this is in a metal container versus a plastic, because over time, this acetone will start to degrade and melt the plastic. That's why it has to be in a metal container. So this is a stronger type of solvent versus some of these other choices here. Acetone is very effective. Now, just like everything else, the rule is that not all things are created equal. Here in California, we are so highly regulated, and we have this thing called the AQMD, the Environmental Protection Agency, all these agencies all trying to look out for the greater good. So what they do is they inject their wisdom into it and think like, oh, it can't be that strong because that's bad for the environment, whatever. So the stuff here in California likely is weaker than perhaps what exists in your state. And the reason I bring that up is that you need to test it. Now, we're working on glass, which is about as safe gets, meaning you can use most chemicals, and I stress the word most, without possible damage. Any of these chemicals will be a non-issue on glass. So I know through experience that acetone is my go-to on that, because it will dissolve that residue lickety-split. But let's say you don't have acetone at home. You don't want to run to Home Depot or whatever and buy acetone. Well, maybe you have rubbing alcohol under the medicine cabinet or under the sink. Maybe you've got some glass cleaner. So how do you get rid of that residue? Because it is sticky, gooey. Imagine gum sticking in a wad of, or stepping in a wad of gum on a hot street. It's just miserable to get off. So, and then I also have my magic eraser, which will be more towards the end. So let's try the rubbing alcohol first, Haley. Let's see, because I think most people have the rubbing alcohol at their house. Actually, let's just go with the window cleaner. We'll go here, here, then there. That's just a little sidebar. So let's try the window cleaner and you tell me. And we've got my microfiber cloth. Now, because I don't want to destroy this, it's still usable. I'm going to reach for one of these blue paper towels, which I prefer because they're thicker than traditional paper towels, so you can actually do heavier duty jobs with them. So Haley, I'm going to hand this to you. So spray that on the window.
The whole area?
The whole area. And then it really doesn't take much because it's either going to work or it's not. And you rub and you tell me what's happening.
Oh, it seems to be going away.
Okay, I'm actually surprised if it is, but
See,
often I am surprised. Is it smearing it, or do you think it's going away?
Well, I do feel some texture still.
Okay, so
There's
maybe
some
it's
of
a
it-
combination of removing it but not entirely, or do you think it's kind of just repositioning it on your window?
No, I don't feel it.
Okay, well that's encouraging. I can see smears, so it's like you reduce it, you break it down. So I'm actually surprised at the window cleaner, but that window cleaner has probably ammonia or alcohol in it. It's just a very weak solution. Okay, so let's reach for the straight rubbing alcohol and try that and see if, because it looks like the other strip is thicker, as in more residue left over. That big, yeah, that big wad right there is what's going on with that.
The wad is coming off. Yeah.
Because that's a pretty thick wad. So it's breaking it down, right?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
this is actually kind of smearing it.
Well, put some more, get a fresh spot on your cloth and put more rubbing alcohol on it. Because what happens is you break it down, you're essentially transferring that residue from the glass to your cloth.
Okay.
So you need to rotate a section of your cloth so that you have a clean area with some fresh rubbing alcohol. Does it look like it's working?
Yeah.
I mean, from here it does,
Kinda.
but
Well,
I
it's
still
kinda
see some.
smearing it right here.
Okay.
And like here.
So let's do this. Let's try the acetone.
Okay.
Hand me the bottle, because acetone has a lid on it that has to be. This is one of my simple tools. It's called a key. It's got this little latch on it, for lack of a better word, and I just pop it off like that. So Haley will now, and it's the same with the rubbing alcohol. You just need a little wet spot there. So Haley, let's switch, and you tell me if you feel like that just cuts right through it.
It's a lot smoother. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks a lot better.
And based on my experience with acetone, that's generally the rule, is it's going to cut to the chase. It's just that not everyone's going to have it. So at this point, what I like to do, because now you have a combination of residue from the rubbing alcohol, the acetone, it's not perfectly clean, as in a front windshield that we need to look out and drive safely with. So let's reach for our glass cleaner and our magic eraser. So spray the window. Yep, exactly. And what the magic eraser will do, will clean it off. Aside from making some really obnoxious noises, probably the third worst noise in the world, that squeak. It's like taking an ice pick to your eardrums. Okay, so we've cleaned that off. Now, at this point, yes, you can reach for your microfiber. Now, that's not my first preferred choice as far as cleaning windows with. In this moment, we're actually not trying to demonstrate how to clean windows. So get the window cleaner, shoot it on the window, and then you can clean it off. How does the glass feel? Does it feel smooth as you're wiping across?
I don't feel any like
residue at all.
Resistance or anything, yeah.
Now, if there's anything showing up in the camera, folks, just know that the outside of this glass is dirty.
Yeah.
So let me, you hold this, let me verify something. Okay, yep. Everything that I am seeing is on the outside of that glass. That's what I wanted to verify. And this feels perfectly smooth. I feel no residue whatsoever. So I would say we have complete success.
I also just recognized that one at the top.
Okay, you know what that is? That looks like one of those dealer stickers.
Yeah.
And you see how your finger just quickly...
Kind of. There's still an outline though, and I can feel it with my nail.
Why don't you try the glass cleaner first, since we already have that, with a cleaning cloth.
With this?
Yeah. And see if that will eliminate it.
That worked.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, till next time, folks. We will see you then.